Hey YouTube, what's up? Scarecrow, and I am going to do a deck profile, look at my OTT for standard. Um, it isn't going to be drastically different than the last deck profile you've probably seen of it, but I am covering it again to show an update because some time's passed, and I've played this deck in 2 tournaments since you guys last looked at it. For those who don't know what Cool Stuff Games is, it's a chain of game shops in Japan, or Florida, and so when one of them tends to do an event, others do. They have things like store championships, and they often hold like 3-box tournaments and stuff. So this deck, I got to play only twice so far in tournament since it was updated. Both times were in a 3-box tournament with 3 boxes of prizes for stuff. So both times I played it, I finished in the top 4. The first time, I'm not sure if I was 2nd or 3rd. I know I top 4'd, I can't remember exactly. And then the week after that was the store championships, and then the week after, which I played a different deck. And then the week after that, this past weekend, I went to another 3-box tournament, played this deck, and this time, I remember I got 2nd. I wish I could remember what I got the first tournament. It might have been like, somewhere between 2nd and 3rd. I know I wasn't 1st. But, yeah. This is the deck. It runs pretty well, obviously, since I've played it both times to pretty good success. So, get started. We have our starter, and then like every OTT deck in premium or standard, it's an 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. That's never really going to change until OTT gets more triggers usually. The grade 1 lineup, 4 Maike of Elegance. So this card is really helpful. I talk about this card all the time when it comes to OTT deck profiles on it's out, and I love it for the consistency it adds to your decks. Turn 1, you can ride her, resolve her skill first, look for a grade 3, and then you can resolve your starter and draw that grade 3 you stack. Sometimes you don't even need to use her, which that's fine, I guess. Just like riding any other grade 0 usually. But this card adds a lot of consistency to the deck, and then it helps dig for your deer. It's just good. And then we have 3 Tetramagus. This card is a really good card, but I would say playing 4 is like definitely overkill. At 3, the deck has so much draw power, you're gonna see it enough. I don't think I ever don't see this card usually. And the deck is very counterblast heavy, and she herself being a counterblast, you're probably not going to use her like more than twice in a game. So I really think playing 4 would be overkill, but she's a good card. She's a good way to set up finishing plays. She has a lot of synergy with the other grade 1s specifically, and then CEO. So it's a great card. Sets up games a lot. I can tell you there's a lot of games where I use her during that turn, and then I go to battle phase, and my opponent's like, I'll guard 2 to pass, and I'm like, sorry buddy, I know the top 2 cards are like both triggers. So, and then we got our 4 Cure Magus. This card is also really good. Between Cure and Elegance here, we have 2 really good ride targets for our grade 1. That's why we don't play Circle Magus. Circle Magus is pretty much only good when you ride it. It has an okay regard skill, but let's be realistic, it's not that good. This way, both of these are probably like better ride targets since they don't use Counterblast, but still do like almost as helpful as a skill as the Circle Magus. So yeah, and then this thing is obviously just a great rear guard. Like, the synergy between these 2 cards is so good that you can use Cure, put a card you want to draw on top, then use her to draw that card, then stack a crit, leaving the other trigger below. Like, as I was just saying, like, these two combo well, and then the opponent sometimes will only guard 2 to pass, and you're like, gotcha, already know it's 2 triggers. And last grade 1, I play 1 for Fale Magus. In terms of the other options, I'm not like big fans. Like, I don't really like Gemini. I think that card is completely unnecessary for the most part. Like, if you're playing the deck like correctly, you know when you need to take damage, so you're taking your hits when you do, you know when you need to guard when you don't, and you generally will have the counterblast you need. And to that extent, even when you do run a card like Gemini, you're gonna find yourself that you don't need it, like most games. And like, it's a -1 to countercharge, and you're probably going to use that counterblast to get a +1 and a little bit of push out of it. So you break even, but I feel like I would rather play cards that aren't just trying to break even. I want to play cards that are just going to push on top of the push that I already have. So, and for Fale, just adds a little bit more consistency to your ability to hit triggers and draw the cards you like. Like, the grade 1s in this deck are all pretty strong already, and this is just like a little bit more. So for the grade 2s, first is Battle Sister. Here, she is a grade 2 copy of our grade 1 Mic of Elegance. She, when you ride her Soul Blast, look top 3 to grade 3, put on top, and get +5. So she can be a 14k beat stick, which is nice. She helps you like make sure you get to the grade 3 you need to like ride and stuff. Like, she's helpful like you've drawn like Deer or Imperial Daughter and you don't want to ride them, so this helps dig for your CEO. Or you can just use this to dig for your Deer, so you can set it for like the win, and then you can do things like use CEO or like Tetra here to draw that Deer and then go for your kill play. So then we got our 4 Rectangle Magus. This is a really fantastic card. You don't always use his skill or her skill when you call her to get the scry and draw effect, which is a really good skill, but this deck is very counterblast heavy, so sometimes it's just not worth it to use it. But like, I would say that skill is just a bonus on top of his other skill where he buffs every time you get a trigger. That sound you heard was my daughter. She's taking a nap. She's kind of waking up, if you're wondering. But yeah, this card is great. It buffs just for getting triggers, and the bonus is just the fact that you can scry at them and draw, which is really good. The card's really fantastic. And then our last grade 2 of the deck is our 4 Promised Daughter, the unretirable beat stick that this deck needs. Good card. Teamed up with an 8k, you can make any clan have to guard for 15 against her attack. Then for their 3s, we have our 4 Daughter, our 4 CEO, and our 2 Deer. 2 Deer is plenty. We dig for it all the time, draw cards. CEO is the best first ride, and it combos well with so many cards in the deck. Like I said, combos well with your Battle Sister and your Goddess, or your Mic of Elegance here. Just stack your Deer and then draw it off your CEO. Combos well with your Tetra Magus, so you can like leave a card on top that you know you want to draw, then call this, draw that, put the crit on top. This deck's really good. It's a very good deck. Definitely one of the best decks of the format. It has its weaknesses. It does absolutely awful against Angel Feather, and it does absolutely awful against Murakumo. But outside of those two, this deck can pretty much handle almost anything in the meta. Excel is always a little bit difficult. Like, if you have like some bad luck and the Excel player has like pretty decent luck, like, it's gonna be really hard. Whereas other decks, even if your luck's not like fantastic, you can usually do pretty okay. But yeah, Murakumo and OTT are like death sentences, or OTT Angels are like death sentences. It's so hard to beat those decks. You have to just hope they get like unlucky and you don't. But it's a pretty good deck. So thank you for watching.